Congressman Tim Walberg is on the other end of our line now from Tipton and Jackson, the Republican. I think probably, I suppose you're in Washington, D.C. right now. Welcome back to the program.
Well, it's good to be here. No, I'm back in the States, and
We are.
to be back here. This is our in-district work period, and so we're traveling all around, making site visits. Yesterday I had a really unique visit at the West Michigan Aviation Charter Academy, the only one of its kind, as I understand it, in the nation, where the emphasis is on aviation engineering and science, and a broad cross-spectrum of students there, socioeconomic strata, and really an interesting approach. And as I sit on the House Education and Workforce Committee, these type of opportunities to see what creative tools are out there and resources in training our kids for the world of the now and the future. It was an interesting place.
You know, I was there once. I left scratching my head. I had no idea that kind of thing went on. And the reason I was there is former President Bush, George W., was in town, and there was a fundraiser. And Dick DeVos was on stage with George W., interviewing him with a big airplane in the background. And they were talking about, they're both pilots, and they were talking pilot. I'm not a pilot, and I know I never will be, because that scares the heck out of me. You haven't never done that, have you?
No, I am not a pilot, but I love to fly, and we've flown in all sorts of craft, from gliders to twin engines to the jets, caught out onto an aircraft, tail hooked, and then shot off with a catapult, and I've even jumped out of a plane with a parachute. So we've had the privilege of being in the air.
Well, you have that in common with George Herbert Walker Bush, anyway. What's parachuting like?
Well, I don't think I'm going to do it in my 80s, but it was a kicker. It was something I always wanted to do, and my kids were very young, and my wife took out a new insurance policy, I believe, on me. I did that jump, and it was an amazing experience in Tecumseh to jump from 2,400 feet and come on down in the old military canopy and land hard. But after receiving the training there, we landed right and planned to do it again, but never did. So it was a once-in-a-life experience. Yeah,
well, that would be enough for me, I suppose. What about, and did you say that you were launched off an aircraft carrier?
I was out in the Persian Gulf at one time, out there reviewing the troops, and in fact meeting with some constituents from the district here who were on that. Carl Vinson, amazing setting out there, and going from 105 to 0 in 2 seconds, and then taking off, going from 0 to 130 in about 2.5 seconds. It's amazing. It's amazing. But those F-18s come in faster and hotter, and they go off faster too. I wasn't in an F-18.
Wow, that's the carrier Michigan State had the basketball game on in San Diego when the president was there a couple of years ago. I was there too, lucky enough that night. The president was on David Letterman yesterday, encouraging people to hire veterans. You have been, speaking of the military and veterans, encouraging job training.
Right. We've put forth legislation that would encourage job training for veterans, kind of cut through the bureaucratic red tape, get them trained, have the resources that are there. We shifted $5 million inside the VA budget to that purpose, not increasing the budget, but shifting it, I think, to a higher priority to make sure that our veterans, as they return, and they're returning at a fast clip, have the opportunity to use what they've been trained in the military for the purposes in the private sector, and bringing them up to speed on certain issues so that they're prepared, ready, and functioning. That's a great method of therapy and rehabilitation in some of their lives, having come from just very, very dangerous areas of the world.
You mind telling us how you voted on Proposal 1, or how you will vote today?
I'll leave that. I voted already on that by absentee ballot, since I wasn't going to be in my township today. But it is. Let me say it this way: we need road repair, and traveling over the course of 7 counties in the 7th district, our bridges and our roads are falling apart. People need to make sure their government does the most important thing in putting roads back together for us to use.
Hey, you can draw your own conclusion there from United States Congressman Tim Walberg.